What would you do if you could ask a question and receive an answer from a spirit of the deceased? That feeling is both thrilling and chilling at the same time. And that's exactly why the Ouija board, a simple wooden board covered with letters, numbers, and the words yes and no, has captured the attention of millions around the world for decades. It's not just a toy, it has become a symbol of mysterious, supernatural phenomena that science has yet to explain. From whispered tales to blockbuster horror films, the Ouija board has always been linked to strange and supernatural occurrences. Some say they've heard whispers in the darkness. Others believe they've contacted the spirits of deceased loved ones through the board. Meanwhile, many have experienced inexplicable panic and overwhelming fear. These stories have made the Ouija board a deeply controversial subject, one that continues to puzzle both scientists and spiritual experts alike. So what exactly is the Ouija board? Is it truly a gateway to the afterlife? Or is it merely a psychological game, cleverly designed to trick the human mind? At times, the Ouija board seems like a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and desires, and our endless curiosity about the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. In today's video, we'll peel back each layer of secrecy, uncovering the dark corners hidden behind the Ouija board, from its origins and spiritual phenomena to scientific analysis and social warnings. Step into the world of Ouija and decide for yourself. What will you believe? Ouija, also known as the spirit board, has become a mysterious cultural phenomenon, spanning from the living rooms of early 20th century American households to candlelit rooms, where daring youths summon spirits at midnight. The Ouija board has an extremely simple design, a flat surface printed with all the letters, from A to Z, the numbers 0 to 9, the keywords yes and no in opposite corners, and the word goodbye. At the bottom, players place their fingers lightly on a small, heart-shaped object called a planchette, a pointer with sliding feet, and together, they begin asking questions to the spirit. Even though everyone barely touches it, the planchette starts to move, slowly gliding across the board to spell out mysterious messages. But who's really answering? Is it a spirit, or is it the human subconscious? To understand the allure and widespread fame of the Ouija board, we need to travel back in time to the 19th century, when the wave of spiritualism began sweeping across Europe and the United States. People believed that the souls of the dead continued to exist and could communicate with the living through methods like table rapping, automatic writing, or Ouija. Seances became so popular that even the middle class began hosting them as a form of weekend social gathering. In 1891, a businessman named Charles Kennard and his associates officially commercialized the Ouija board, securing a patent and marketing it widely with the promise, a simple tool that can answer any question, past, present, or future. The product quickly became a sensation. People bought Ouija boards to communicate with deceased loved ones, seek advice on love, careers, and even financial investments. During World War I, Ouija became a source of comfort for millions of families who had lost sons or husbands on the battlefield. But over time, the Ouija board was no longer seen as an innocent game. As Hollywood began exploring spirit communication in horror films, the Ouija board became associated with dark forces, demonic entities, and hauntings. What was once a spiritual tool turned into a symbol of danger. Warnings became more frequent, especially within religious communities. Many claimed that when using the Ouija board, it wasn't just deceased loved ones who returned, but also other entities, ones no one had invited. Because this game is deeply rooted in spiritual beliefs, seances are usually conducted in quiet, deserted places, often at night, to increase the chances of contacting spiritual entities. According to those with experience using the Ouija board, the most ideal time to begin a session is between 2 and 4 a.m. This is believed to be the hour when spiritual energy, or yin energy, is at its strongest during the day. In addition, according to various rumors, one should not ask the spirits more than 10 questions during a single session. If this number is exceeded, it is believed that the player's lifespan may be affected. There's also an important piece of advice when using the Ouija board. it's recommended to invite someone with thick eyebrows to join the session. People with thick eyebrows are believed to possess strong protective energy or yang energy, which helps ward off possession or unwanted spiritual interference. One crucial rule when using the Ouija board is this: no matter what happens, never scream or run away. Doing so is believed to invite misfortune. It's said that if the session is disrupted in panic, one of the participants may end up facing serious bad luck or even spiritual consequences due to interference from the entities that have been contacted. There's a widely shared rule among those familiar with Ouija sessions. One should never conduct a seance in a cemetery. Additionally, other spiritually significant places such as temples or shrines are also considered inappropriate and even dangerous for playing this ghostly game. According to those with experience, conducting a Ouija session in such locations greatly increases the risk of summoning malevolent spirits or worse, demonic entities. Another important rule to keep in mind when using the Ouija board is to never play alone. In theory, the ritual can be performed by a single person, but doing so carries significant risks for the one attempting to make contact. When you conduct a seance alone, you may become more vulnerable to spiritual forces, especially if something dark chooses to answer your call. Because it is a spiritual game, it's not surprising that countless eerie stories from around the world revolve around Ouija sessions. Among them are tales of strange and chilling events that reportedly occurred during or after people attempted to contact the spirit world through the board. In 1933, in a quiet town where the scorching desert stretched endlessly, a brutal crime took place, and the mastermind behind it wasn't human, but a wooden board. Dorothea Turley, an ordinary woman with a husband and a child, became so obsessed with the Ouija board that she believed the spirit speaking to her through it was the ultimate truth. They referred to this entity as a divine guide, and Dorothea was convinced that it knew her fate better than anyone else. One day, during a Ouija session with her daughter Maddie, who was only 15 years old, the board whispered that the man Dorothea truly loved was not her husband, and to obtain true love, her husband had to die. The letters spelled out a chilling message: he must disappear. Let the daughter do it. A few weeks later, Maddie shot her father in broad daylight. At the trial, the girl calmly testified, "The spirit told me to do it. I wasn't making the decision myself." And Dorothea? She showed no remorse. She insisted, "We were only following the instructions from the Ouija board." This story shocked the entire nation. A simple wooden board became a key piece of evidence in a murder case. The media called it the first case where the Ouija board, once dismissed as just a toy, was labeled a spiritual weapon. In addition, Spain is home to a chilling tale about a girl who lost her life after playing with a Ouija board. In 1990, a teenage girl named Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro, a student at a Catholic high school, secretly brought a homemade Ouija board into the classroom. One quiet afternoon, her goal, along with a group of friends, was simple: to try to contact the spirit of one girl's boyfriend who had recently died in a tragic car accident. They lit candles, whispered their questions, and waited for the wooden pointer to move. But instead of receiving a message from the departed friend, what they summoned was something else entirely. A teacher discovered the ritual mid-session and immediately broke it up, knocking the Ouija board away. From that very moment, Estefania began to change. She became withdrawn, her eyes vacant and unfocused, and soon began to display increasingly strange behaviors, unexplained seizures, visions of a dark figure standing in her bedroom, and terrifying screams in the middle of the night, claiming that someone was choking her. Less than 6 months after the Ouija incident, Estefania suddenly died during a violent seizure. Forensic doctors were baffled. Her heart, brain, and lungs showed no abnormalities. The death certificate listed the cause as sudden cardiac arrest of unknown origin. But that was not the end. After their daughter's death, the Gutierrez family began to experience terrifying phenomena inside their own home. Picture frames shattered for no reason. Knocking sounds echoed through the night. Screams rang out from empty rooms. In November 1992, A night of pure panic prompted the family to call the police. What the officers witnessed defied all logic. A door slammed shut on its own. Scratching noises came from inside the walls, and right before their eyes, a crucifix snapped in half. The official police report documented supernatural phenomena, an almost unprecedented occurrence in the legal records of Spain. Many believe that the Ouija board is a gateway to the spirit world, but psychologists and neuroscientists offer a chillingly different explanation, that the spirit guiding the game is none other than your own hands. The Ouija board has puzzled many scientists. Does it truly allow people to communicate with the dead, or is it merely a collective illusion sustained by the human brain? The scientific explanation points to a unique phenomenon known as the ideomotor effect. In addition to the ideomotor effect, another crucial factor is the power of belief and expectation. When you believe that the Ouija board can connect with the spirit world, your brain begins to fill in the blanks with experiences that match that expectation. A small noise becomes the whisper of a ghost. Silence turns eerie and oppressive. Every random occurrence, from a draft of wind to a flickering light, is interpreted as a sign of a supernatural presence. However, the most frightening thing is this: even when you fully understand that the Ouija board is just a psychological illusion, it can still lead you into a state of extreme self-suggestion. There have been cases where Ouija players became so obsessed that they developed symptoms of psychological disorders, suffered from prolonged insomnia, and experienced uncontrollable fear. So in the end, does the Ouija board truly connect us to the other side? The answer may lie in what we choose to believe, and sometimes that belief is so powerful, it can turn the impossible into reality. When the lights dim and the mist of ghostly tales begins to fade, we are left with a simple truth. Ouija by itself is nothing more than an inanimate object, a wooden board marked with letters, a few numbers, and a small teardrop-shaped piece of plastic. It cannot speak, it cannot move, it holds no consciousness, and yet, it is we humans, with our imagination, our belief, and our fear who breathe life into it. So, is Ouija real or not? The answer might not lie within the board itself but within the heart of the player. The more you believe, the more it comes alive. The more you fear, the stronger it becomes. And the more you yearn to uncover what lies beyond the veil of life and death, the more Ouija becomes a perilous bridge, when you may be crossing without even knowing how close you are to the edge.